Jean-Jacques Rousseau is an 18th century French philosopher, probably most known for his book, The Social Contract, comprising of many discourses on arts, politics, and sciences. His writings are considered most influential to the French Revolution and to political thought worldwide. So many questions are raised about his discourses being mostly controversial. Between, on the other hand, people who hold his ideas as emphatic towards giving a picture about state of politics, and on the other hand, those who see in his ideas as a sort of basis or an inspiration towards bringing dictatorship, especially with what happened after the French Revolution concerning the French leader Robespierre. The social contract as a set of principles is not a definitive formula towards building a state, but rather it gives deep insights and future-oriented ideas about how can a certain state operate. Now, of course, I do not imagine myself giving a thorough analysis about this book, especially not uh, after just one read. But here are some of the facts which I find worthy of consideration in this great book. For example, he considered the British parliamentary monarchy system as a system in which people are free only once in 5 years to choose those who would govern them. Now, of course, in the 18th century, France and England were superpowers at that time. Therefore, there was always a comparison between French system and English system because these forces were certainly rivalries in everything. Rousseau also has this striking statement that man is born free, but he is in chains everywhere. He had this notion that so long as people are not living as according to nature, they are actually still chained in whatever environment they are living in, certainly in a certain political context. On the misuse of time being a great evil, Rousseau finds spending time in luxury not a sign of wealth. He has this idea that morals and virtue are more important and that they are the actual wealth, arguing that in the political philosophers of ancient times actually spent enormous amounts of energy debating morals and virtue, and that mostly people who think about politics in the modern times, according to Rousseau, are actually speaking only about money and about wealth. Rousseau also believed that a society can succeed in a state of nature, that is to say, to live up according to nature in a sort of Spartan way of life. He believed that reflection is against nature and that a person who meditates is a degenerate animal. That is to say, in other words, he believed that most of our ills are actually of our own making. According to Rousseau, in order for a state to be strong and powerful, its two pillars must be liberty and equality. He argued that no citizen should be rich enough to be able to buy another, and none poor enough to be forced to sell themselves. The rich, according to Rousseau, produce tyranny in their pursuit of more wealth and power, and the poor in their dependence, support tyranny because of deprivation. Therefore, legislation, according to Rousseau, is the most powerful tool in a state in order to bring in liberty and equality. Legislation, he argues, is paramount for a state to operate. The social contract is certainly one of the constituting pillars of world politics, particularly modern and post modern times. Although so much criticized for some of its ideas, it remains a rich mine to making the world a better place.